Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Saturday, November the 19th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I will be joined here very shortly by the one and only Mr. Josh Crash Davis. He was tending to one of his dogs, I believe, but I'm sure he'll be jumping in here with us shortly. I hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Freezing and snow covered up here in the Northeast today. Definitely taking some getting used to, but we are thawing out and warming up and getting ready for a little 4-game slate tonight. So it's going to be an interesting one after a million games and all that news from yesterday. Definitely a different setup for today. So I hope some people survived some of those lineups last night. I know it was a crappy night for me. Did not like the build and the look of everything. And it definitely was not a fun situation. But, you know, sometimes it happens. You get weird games that go single, double overtime. You get some injuries. You get all kinds of stuff. And it was just one of those nights. So the variance is going to be good. It's going to be bad. And tonight we're due for good. So Crash, hello. Thanks for jumping in. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Coach. Yeah, sorry I had to let my dog out real quick, but he's back in and I'm ready to go. So got a little 4-game slate. So it seems like you and I have had some smaller slates lately, but we've also had some success with these smaller slates. So I'm hoping tonight's going to be a big night.
I hope so, because usually I love the big slates. Last night was not that great, so we're hoping that we flip the script and get after tonight. So good stuff, and appreciate everybody jumping in here. We have a nice group in here. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go through all 4 games. We're going to talk about the entire game script for each game, look at the ownership, let you know who our pay-up values and fades are. We'll also build a 2 brains lineup at Crash. How about we'll find that one we agree on. Let's put 2 in each, and let's go with the 5-man core GPP Draftkings build today.
Okay.
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me. Yep.
Okay. It's sort of I feel like it's a Draftkings night. I have the Draftkings hat on. We're going to give a Draftkings ticket away at the end. Sure. So you know what? Let's give people that GPP core.
Let's do it.
We'll all take it down.
Let's do it.
All right. I want to say hello to Katie. Hello, Katie. How are you? I also want to say hello to our wonderful people in chat. Some members, some not members yet. So what are you waiting for? Come and join us. Tomorrow is a full day of members only. We have a members only NFL podcast at 10:30 a.m. So we'd love to have you aboard for that. Then I'll be on there solo 4:45 for the NBA night slate tomorrow, which is a pretty good one for a Sunday night. It starts at 6. So we're almost going to be up to lock with the podcast. And it's a nice, I believe, 7-game slate, which is very unusual for a Sunday night. Who would think we'd have almost double the games that we did on a Saturday night? But don't understand the scheduling of the NBA at times, but it's all right. It's all good. So definitely want to do that. If you want to join, you can see the crawler at the bottom, dfscoachtalk.com. You can join for as little as 1 week for $9, which is a definite great deal. A couple of different options for memberships also. If you want to, if you have any questions or want to know more about Coach Talk, you certainly can throw some questions in the chat here, or you can check us out on Twitter. We're at DFS Coach Talk. Certainly you can just DM us right in there with any questions, membership information that's needed. And certainly whoever wins the ticket is going to also jump on at DFS Coach Talk on Twitter and DM us their PayPal email so we can send that ticket, which you could play for tonight. Or if you want to parlay the Crash and Steven NFL information tomorrow into a big Millie Maker win, I still predict one of our members or listeners are going to hit that Millie Maker in football this year. That was the gut feeling I had at the beginning of the year, and I believe that it's going to happen. So fired up for that. If you're watching on YouTube, let's get this part out of the way. Everybody take a second. Hit the thumbs up. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, everybody hit the thumbs up. We should have 100% thumbs up here with the whole gang. We really appreciate that because that helps us move up the algorithm. And now that we're doing these live and you don't have the continuity of them all being recorded, sometimes we don't get that algorithm jump that we need unless we get those in the live chat. So we really do appreciate that. And if you're watching on Twitter, a quick like and retweet is really appreciated. Mm-hmm. And our members know this, but for the listeners, because it's a little bit tougher to communicate with y'all sometimes, and it's just through Twitter, and those can be missed. But I'm grabbing somebody every day out of the people that like and retweet our posts. And if you're a regular follower of Coach Talk, you know that we're putting up our schedule for the day, both in what sports we're covering and what that precise schedule is. We like to really, we're very proud here of the tight schedule that we follow, the consistency and the organization. Because I think if you're going to be successful in DFS, you have to have that combination of organized and thorough, or if you're shooting from the hip, it's not going to happen. So we definitely will be posting that. We'll be posting our podcast schedule, like I said, and then of course the information regarding what we're doing in our podcast each day. So real quick, I just threw up here, Children International is a charity suggestion from Joe K. So what we're doing right now is we have No Child Hungry, or No Kids Hungry, I'm sorry, is our November charity. And we always let a member or a listener choose that. That is going to be anything that's put into the kitty for this month, which is done by just hitting the super chat button. 100% of that goes to charity. And that next month we have a wonderful pet adoption charity that we're going to be doing. And now we have our January one, Crash Children International. I know of that charity, and it is a fantastic charity. So thank you so much, Joe K. That'll certainly be our January 1 that we'll utilize. So I'm marking it down, and we will follow up with you on that. So again, any super chats go directly to charity. All right, Crash, I know I'm doing all the chit chat here. Let me just say hello to everybody that's already jumped in, because I really do appreciate the consistency of our core group. It means a lot. Rodney Pollard absolutely wins today. He's in there, man. He was in there early and ready to roll. He even beat me to chat. So Rodney, thank you for jumping in. Niles Simmons, Pain Blank SM, also known as Dead Presidents, our own boy from Cali, who's been phenomenal, man. It is such a help having you in there, doing the ownership, staying on top of it. Just fantastic. And just goes to show we have the best group of people. It's a small group that run Coach Talk, but with Crash and David, certainly the great Deb Lutz. And of course, he's home in Philly enjoying the cold with us. Up in Pennsylvania now, our own Brett Trimble, he's behind the scenes. And then now a boy from Cali in there with us, helping us get all the stuff done. And my son Dawson, who time to time throws some input in there for us. So love this group. Appreciate you. As I say, boy from Cali, great to have you in there. My man David Dulac trying to stay out of trouble and out of timeout today. Just a joke. He's never in real trouble. But I do enjoy throwing him in timeout once in a while just to bug him. He is the best. Travis Wyndham, one of our new members, fantastic. He's finally spending a little bit that Wyndham Hotel money and joining the Coach Talk team. Awesome to have you in there. Aaron Sampson with no P. I always tease you about no P in Sampson, but I'll never forget how to spell your name. CMO 614. The GOAT KOS, Mr. Harry Yammy Styles in there. Great to have you with us today. Lots of talk in here. I love it. Bev, great to have you with us. It was funny yesterday, Crash. Somebody said, great to have you in there, coaching Bev. They messed up Bev.
Oh,
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I was teasing her like crazy. Let's see. Who else? Doug L. We're going to go back to Doug W. today. I feel like he's going to get it done. Let's see. What else do we have in here? Rainy and cold in SETX. Where's that? Southeast Texas. That's what it is. All right. Well, it's not as cold as it is in Pennsylvania. I promise you that, Mr. Wyndham. Absolute power. Absolutely the man. Let's get this takedown. I do think we can get one tonight. Yes, Josh Green killed a lot of us. He was absolutely a huge disappointment, sir. I agree with you. Let's see. I love all the chatter in here. Let me see if there's anybody else. David Cuff. Is that somebody new, Crash? Do you know David Cuff?
I didn't recognize the name.
Mr. Cuff, great to have you. Welcome to the family. I hope you're with us every day. We really do appreciate it. JT, Justin Timberlake, taking a break from the tour. He is on with us today. Fantastic to have you. Again, Joe K, thanks for the super chat. And Children International will be our January, definitely be our January charity. Hollis Harris, hello, my friend. Thank you for joining us. And I think that's the main group. So there we go, Crash. We've got everything covered. 4 great games. We're not dealing with that 6 o'clock Toronto Atlanta game. No reason to mess with that whatsoever. So we have 4 good games, updated ownership, and we've got all of the information here we need. And we're going to break this sucker down. I know this is more in your sweet spot, this size slate. So I think we can do it. A little bit of early information that was up there from our friends Underdog. Tyrese Halliburton, questionable. Tobias Harris, doubtful. I'm not counting him in at all. Keldon Johnson, probable. Mr. Pirtle, your buddy Crash, he's questionable, along with fellow Spur Devin Vassell. So you got all kinds of designations on these Spurs, and it's the first night of a back-to-back for the Spurs, and it's pop. So if that doesn't give you, you need a whole bottle of antacid for that one. Gary Harris, a name we haven't said in a long time, questionable. And Doug McDermott. Deb always tries to get Doug McDermott in the lineup, and so now she's got a chance because he's probably going to play. All right, that's what I've got so far, Crash. Are you ready to go before you doze off on me? You're not? Are you sleeping?
No. No, I'm good.
I know you're preparing, and I'm sure you're still crunching football for tomorrow too. So
yeah, definitely doing that.
All right, my friend. Game 1. Here we go. 7 o'clock. The Orlando Magic 5-11 at the surprisingly 2 games over 500. Supposed to be on the rebuild. Indiana Pacers now thinking they have a playoff run shot. They're 8-6, and the big news here, double dual news. Wendell Carter Jr., who is on the second night of a back-to-back. He played yesterday against his ex-team, the Bulls. He's questionable for today. But the 2 people that are upgraded to questionable that have not played recently is Gary Harris and Mo Wagner. So that could muddy the waters in this short Orlando rotation. Cole Anthony, Paolo Banchero, Mikhail Fultz, and Jonathan Isaac are out. For Indiana, that other big, huge piece of news that I was talking about is, of course, Tyrese Halliburton. Really was a punch in the gut yesterday. He got hurt in that game a little bit, and it's the second night of a back-to-back for the Pacers as well. So he is questionable. I am really concerned about that, but the good thing is we will have that news before lock, so we're going to follow that closely. Duarte and Tice remain out for the Pacers. As far as pace goes, speaking of the Pacers, 16th for Orlando, right in the middle of the pack. Part of Indiana's success has been run and gun. They're second fastest in the association. Neither team is strong defensively whatsoever. 22nd for the Magic, 25th for the Indiana Pacers. So they are not winning with defense. Early ownership numbers here, Crash. So you can break this sucker down. The funny part is the top 5 guys on the slate are from Minnesota, Philadelphia. So that's a little unusual.
Yeah.
And then we've got two guys from this game. 33 1/3% projected ownership on Franz Wagner. Maybe he's celebrating because his brother Mo might play. He's $6,800 and he's eligible at shooting guard and small forward, and 5th highest owned player right now, 6th, on the list. Jalen Smith right behind him at 31%, only 4,800, been getting decent minutes. And then a couple of slots before them or below them is Jalen Suggs, only 5,900 Crash, and can play either guard spot on DraftKings at 26% owned. So that got my attention a little bit. Then you've got Tyrese Halliburton. I guess people either don't know he got hurt yesterday or think if he's in, he's fine. $9,000 though, 22% early ownership, but we got to watch that close.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bull at 16%. A couple other guys. Mathurin is grabbing 16%. Isaiah Jackson, the backup to Miles Turner, is grabbing 13%. He's only $4,000. And Chuma Okeke, $5,200, 13% ownership. And those are on DraftKings. So there we go, Crash. All in one breath. Haven't taken a breath here in a long time. And now we have to go into this, and you're going to give us all winners, lock washers, optimal builds. Orlando, Indiana, sir. Take it away.
Well, the first key is going to be if Wendell Carter plays or not, because if he doesn't play, it's going to change a lot for me. But if he does play, the only play I'm probably going to go to on Orlando is Jalen Suggs. He's 5,900 on DraftKings. He's 6,200 on Fanduel, 21 on Yahoo. He scored 40 and 44 DraftKings points his last 2 games. So I'll probably play him regardless of what happens with Wendell Carter.
Okay.
And I think he'll give us a nice pivot from DeAnthony Melton too in tournaments. And then if Carter's out, then I definitely like Bull. I was going to say Mo Bamba, but if Mo Wagner is back, then that kind of, that's going to hurt Mo Bamba. So probably not going to go to him, right? I would think if Wagner's back, that Bamba would probably not be in play, even if Carter's out.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's certainly news dependent. I mean, if Carter and Bamba and Mo Wagner playing, I mean, that's not a good situation. But 2 of those 3 could be out. So you're right. I'm with you. It's all news dependent. If Bomba's going to start and the other 2 guys are out, then all of a sudden you've got a plug and play. But he's 5,300, so he's not a complete free square.
Right.
So we just definitely need the news.
We need that news. And then the only other play I would consider is Wagner, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get to him or not. Franz Wagner. Right. 6,800 on both DraftKings and FanDuel and 25 on Yahoo. And then on Indiana, I like Miles Turner. He's 7,300 on DraftKings, 7,900 on FanDuel, 29 on Yahoo. I think my favorite spot for him is probably Yahoo. I don't know if I'm going to get to him on FanDuel at almost 8K. 7,300 on DraftKings is doable, but I also really like Embiid, so I might be playing him at center. I'm not too low on the Jalen Smith play. I kind of like that play. 4,800 on DraftKings, 5,300 on FanDuel, 14 on Yahoo. And then if Halliburton is out, Andrew Nembhard is going to be a value play. 3,900 on DraftKings, 4,400 on FanDuel, and $10 on Yahoo. So that's kind of where I'm at in this game. Do you have anything any different or pretty much the same? Or
Well, the big difference for me for Indiana, I do like the Nembhard play if Halliburton's out, but I'm interested in TJ McConnell.
Okay.
I mean, he's every single time through the last, 5 years at least, between Philly and Indiana, when his number's called on, he jumps in there, can play 30-some minutes and just knock it out, double-digit assists kind of guy. Now, is he going to do that here? That's the question we need to see how that's going to play out. But I think if Halliburton's out, I think McConnell's a sneaky play because I do think more people will go to Nembhard, and Nembhard's still a really good play, but I'm going to look at both of those guys.
Okay. I don't mind that. He's projected for 1% right now. So McConnell is.
I know. He'd be a really sneaky play there. And again, only 100% only if Halliburton's completely ruled out. So we'll see what that news is. I agree with you. Jalen Smith is pretty chalky, but he's sub 5K and he's getting consistent minutes and he produces and he has some ceiling too. So I'm with you there. Not as high on Turner, now that he's mid sevens. I don't know. I mean, he seems to have a lot of just average games. He does throw that big game in once in a while, but I never trust Carlisle on his rotation with bigs. And that always concerns me a little bit, but definitely wouldn't mind some exposure here. By the way, the total in this game is 224. So we have everything between 218.5 to 228. So only a 9.5 point difference between the four games. This one's right in the middle. And Indiana is a 6.5 point favorite here. They deserve to be with 2 games over 500 and a Saturday night home game. I'm sure their fans will be up for that one. So, to have some exposure here to the Pacers, I think is really a smart move. If Halliburton plays, though, Crash, I'm not going to go to him, not just because I'm bitter about last night, but I don't think he's 100%.
Right.
I know he's not.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he plays, it takes Nembhard and McConnell out of play for me, but I'd still look at maybe a Jalen Smith or a Mathurin off the bench. But Mathurin's 5'7", where Nembhard's 3'9". So that's a big spread.
That's a big difference. Yeah.
Yep. On Orlando, I'm with you. I think Suggs is a really decent play. I've liked him since he switched to the point with the injuries that they've had. I think that he's somebody you can look at. I really haven't gone to Franz Wagner very much this year, but he does throw some consistency at times and decent games in there. Okiki, now that he's over 5K, just, doesn't really excite me that much. And again, yes, a big for Orlando could be the key play here, but we need to know the news on Carter Jr. and Mo Wagner in order to see what that combination is, because you still have Bowl that you can go to at 6'2". I'm not going to go with Mo Bamba at 5'3" unless those other two guys are 100% ruled out. So that's what we have to see how it plays out. But I don't think, under the circumstances, going to one of the Orlando bigs is a bad play at all. All right.
I'm with you.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'm with you.
You're ready. Okay, good. Let's see here. Sarugi W. We haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Great to have you in here with us. Is Lillard a good play? Dame's always a good play, man. We'll go over that game for sure. I have some interest there, no doubt about it. Abel Ramos, how are you, my friend? Great. We're going to have Abel Ramos join us for a week, so you get all the basketball and football stuff. Welcome to the family. Can't wait to have you in there with us. Todd lives for Saturday nights, Crash. He's here. And he's excited for big nights, definitely in the next couple of games or a couple of nights in basketball and football. So great to have you in here with us. I don't know if I missed anybody else. It's just been crazy here with all of the action in chat, which I love to see. All right, my friend, game 2. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves 7-8, Philadelphia 76ers 8-7. So they've made their way back from that poor start under 500 and have played pretty darn good since Mr. Harden went down. No injuries for the Timberwolves, which is very unusual. The only news that we're waiting on here for Philly, and it's important, Tobias Harris, a key part of that rotation, obviously starting if he plays or not. So hopefully we have that news before lock. The big thing is Tyrese Maxey, man. Do you see his injury?
I was watching that game, of course. Yeah.
That sucks. He's going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
That's really
I think
unfortunate.
3 to 4 weeks is the latest I saw. So,
yeah. All of a sudden, DeAnthony Melton and Daniel House, everybody's going bonkers now that Maxey's out. But Korkmaz's still out, Springer's still out, and now Maxey's going to be out for quite a while. So that definitely puts a little bit of a twist here on their rotation. This game is just 218.5. It's the lowest game. Minnesota is a road favorite by 3.5. Can you explain that to me, Crash?
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess without Harden and Maxey, they just feel like, Minnesota's a better team, I guess. I don't know.
I don't understand it. I mean, it's in Philly, and they have a better record. Embiid's been going crazy. It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. A pretty bizarre one, but
I'm with you.
Yeah, 3.5 is not the number I expected. I expected to see Philadelphia favored here. I really did. So I'm surprised. I guess they believe that Maxey is that much of a difference. That's the only thing I can think of. But I mean, and the question is going to be who are the guards? I mean, right now I'm seeing Melton, Thibault, and House Jr. I guess that's why Minnesota's favorite.
Yeah, I think so.
That is going to be super interesting. 111 implied for Minnesota, 107.5 for Philly. You've got Philadelphia on the second night of a back-to-back. So there you go. That could be the reason Minnesota's favoritism here as well. Minnesota's fourth in pace, so it is a big pace-up game for Philly. Philadelphia is 27th in pace, which definitely is a deterrent to T-Wolves here. No doubt about it. Yeah. As far as defense, Minnesota right in the middle of the pack at 14th. Philadelphia is third. And if you remember, it was only a scant few weeks ago when we were talking about Philadelphia in the 20s defensively. So they are locking down a lot of people to move all the way to third that fast. Let me give you some ownership numbers here, and then you can give us your breakdown. As I mentioned, right now on Draftkings, the top 5 projected owned players, and they're not just slightly chalky, they're dead-ass chalk here. Shake Milton, 83%, Crash.
I know.
83. How is that possible?
3,100. I mean, that's almost free,
3,100, 30-plus minutes. I mean, it is, you just, I don't see how you fade it. And you know me, I love to fade dead chalk.
Yeah.
Just put Shake Milton on in this lineup and move on. I mean, it is what it is. Now, the rest of these we could talk about. So, of course, you've got Joel Embiid, 70.5%. Big chalk, 11-2. I think the best pay-up option on the slate. I know he's got Gobert to go against, which isn't the easiest thing. But, he's been on an absolute groove.
Yeah.
And, super chalky, but deservedly so. DeAnthony Melton, as you mentioned, 55% right now. Daniel House Jr., 42% owned at 3,100. So if you want to go with that Philadelphia backcourt, 2 guards that are starting a combined total of $6,200.
Yeah.
Craziness.
That's crazy.
Rudy Gobert's next at 34%. So higher number than we've seen on him in quite some time. And Cat, no chopped liver here, 29% ownership on Cat. So I think people are pushing the chips all in on a game with the lowest total on top of everything else.
Right.
Which makes it even more strange. You've got Anthony Edwards down to $7,400, 23.5%. The only other guys are D'Angelo Russell, who Deb was right. I've been steering clear of him. He's been all over the board, inconsistent wise. $6,100, 14% right now. I guess people think he's going to do better because it's Philadelphia's, end of their bench basically at guard. And then this is a funny one. Georges Niang is in the top 16 ownership projected guys.
Yeah.
11%, double digits, Crash.
Right.
How do you unpack that information? And can you please tell me you're not playing Georges Niang?
He's my favorite play. No, I don't have Georges Niang anywhere. Yeah, so for this game, it's a 4-game slate, and we always talk about you got to take a stand. My stand I'm taking is I am fading the Timberwolves.
Okay.
I don't have any Timberwolves in my lineup right now, so that's kind of my stand. I do like Embiid. I mean, he's just been unbelievable lately. I know it's a tough matchup for him in a lot of ways, but if he drops, 60 or 70, then we're going to be chasing that all night on a 4-game slate. I just really don't want to do that. I mean, he's 70% owned, so do I really want to be behind 70% of the field if he has a big game? No, I don't. On the other hand, if he doesn't have a good game and you fade him, then, you're that far ahead.
Right.
Melton and Milton are my favorite value plays. Melton's not as much of a value play on
Draftkings?
On either site, really. 5,600 on Fanduel, 5,900 on Draftkings, 18 on Yahoo. So he's about the same when you average that out. So, Melton you could probably fade, I guess, if you wanted to. But Milton at 3,100 on DraftKings, 3,600 on FanDuel, $10 on Yahoo. That's just too cheap.
Right.
Daniel House, I'm a little more iffy on, but I could definitely see getting to him too at his cheap price.
Right.
And that's really about it for me in this game. It does have a low total, and like I said, I'm fading Timberwolves across the board, just because, like I said, you got to take a stand somewhere. Now, are you locked in on Embiid, or do you think you're going to fade him with 70% ownership on DraftKings?
No, I'm locked in with him. I just think he's the best play on the slate, and there's plenty of value, even though it's only 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to just play him and Shake, and I mean that takes care of that salary right there.
Right.
And it's not like if you go with Melton over Milton. I mean, I understand it, and Melton certainly could have as good or better of a game, but that's a huge difference in salary.
It is.
I mean, it's not like you're just spending $500 or $800 more. You've got a $3,100 guy, and you've got Melton at 59. So, I mean, yes, Melton's good. That's going to be the fade for me in this game is Melton.
Yeah.
And I'm not going more than 2 Sixers. And as of right now, I just think easy to go Milton and Embiid, and go ahead, the boy from Cali, put your chalk Norder up there, whatever. I get it, but I just think that's the good way to go. And I'm sort of with you on the Minnesota fade aspect. I haven't been playing many of those guys anyway, because Ant is too. He makes me a nervous wreck. You never know.
Yeah.
He can be red hot, or he could just check out for a quarter. You just don't know. I do think somebody made a great point in chat. Who's going to guard Cat? It's probably going to be PJ Tucker. Mm-hmm. And I know he's like a foot taller than PJ Tucker, but PJ Tucker is a professional irritant. He will bother Cat.
That's exact words I was going to use. Is it
really?
Yeah.
One of my favorites, irritant. Because and and Cat gets in foul trouble sometimes, and Gobert can't handle Embiid by himself. I don't care if he is the best defensive player in the league, because Embiid draws you out. He'll knock 5 or 6 threes down on you, and he draws a million fouls. So, I'm not going with Cat either. I think some people are going to shift to him. And I took the advice of Deb the other day, and D'Angelo has not been consistent. So I'm with you. And plus, Minnesota's got their full array of bench. Nobody's hurt.
True.
Just not a spot I want to go here. So a couple of Sixers, and I'll be good.
I'm with you.
Yep. Much of it, if Tobias is healthy, Yeah, Tobias isn't healthy. Whether he plays or not is one thing.
But he's
But
not
I don't
healthy.
believe he's completely healthy.
Not either.
Yeah. Cat and Embiid hate each other too. So that always helps Embiid as far as motivation. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
All right. If you're ready to go to game 3, we can do that. Hit that thumbs up if you're on YouTube. We appreciate it. That would be fantastic. Hit the subscribe button while you're at it if you're somebody new that's jumping in. And the little alert button in that upper corner. Whenever any of our podcasts go live, members only, or on YouTube and on Twitter, that is going to pop up for you and let you know that that's going live if you hit that alert button. So that would be fantastic. Also, make sure to hit, if you're going to super chat, all going to charity. And we do really appreciate that. All right. Halfway through the slate already, Crash. This is how you get through it.
Yeah, the 4-game slate helps for sure.
That does help. All right. So now we've got, let's see, 2.5 hours between game 2 and game 3. At 10 o'clock and 10:30 are the late set of games. 10 o'clock is the Utah Jazz at the Portland Trailblazers. Portland's favored by 4. You have the highest implied total here in this game, 228. 112 flat implied for the Jazz, 116 for the Portland Trailblazers. In this game, you've got no Rudy Gay, Nazir Little, questionable for Portland. And we know that Keon Johnson and Gary Payton Jr. are out. So the main cogs in there for both squads. It is a back-to-back for the surprising Utah Jazz. Keep winning. They're 11-6. That dude's got Coach of the Year in his back pocket. Very interesting. But Portland at home, PDX. I love their uniforms too. Their city uniforms.
Yeah.
They are 10-5. So you've got the two powers of the Western Conference. Didn't you say that in preseason? It was Utah and Portland down to the wire?
No. I don't think anybody had those two.
Along with.
Yeah, I don't think anyone had those two. That's
if
for
you
sure.
had those two before the season, I would like to meet you in Vegas. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun game, though. It's going to be intense. And that's a great place to watch a game, too. It's going to be hopping in there.
Yeah.
I am fired up for that game. All right. Statistically speaking, again, Utah's second night of a back-to-back. So it will affect guys like Conley and some of their older players. I'm surprised Conley's playing. He doesn't usually play back-to-backs.
Yeah, and he's playing well lately, too. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. Really, the rest of their group is pretty young. I mean, Kelly O, I guess, has been around a while, but Markkanen and Vanderbilt, those dudes are pretty young. Although Mark, they don't like to push him too hard on double headers, back-to-backers. So we'll have to watch that a little bit as well. Pace-wise, Utah 9th. Portland's new defensive strategy and pace strategy, they're 3rd slowest in the league, which seems really bizarre with Lillard and Simons out front, but that's what they're doing. Utah is now slipped into the bottom half defensively, believe it or not. They're 17th. So that's something to keep an eye on because that's eventually going to catch up to them.
It is.
Portland, however, has been in the top 5 defensively, a sentence that I never thought I'd say together, but they've been that all season long. So does that trend continue is the $1 million question. This is the highest game as far as the Vegas total, certainly not as far as the DFS ownership goes. In fact, this game getting tremendously disrespected, in my opinion, and I think people need to pay a little bit more attention to this game. Mike Conley on a back-to-back is the highest owned guy in this game. I don't agree.
Wow.
I know. He's 5,700 on DraftKings, 24% owned. Pass. He's my fade of the day. I know he's playing well. I know, Lillard's not a good defender. I know all that stuff. But it's Conley. He's older. It's a back-to-back. It's in Portland. I don't understand that ownership for the life of me. So I'll let you break that down. Next guy is Jared Vanderbilt. He's always floating in the top 20, 25 because he's so cheap. but he is over 5,000 now. He was under 5,000 for a long time. 5,200 or 15%. Then you have Jordan Clarkson, who has dual eligibility, point guard, shooting guard, 14% at 6,400. Kelly O, 13%. He's sub 5K. If you're looking for a cheap center, no power forward eligibility anymore, though, for Kelly O. And then you've got a big group here at 9%. Simons, Malik Beasley, who you better watch Malik Beasley, man. I wanted him to do this in Minnesota for a long time. Now he's stepping it up in Utah. He has been a bigger part of their success than people realize. He hasn't been starting, but he's getting good minutes and he's closing games. So $4,300 Malik Beasley is on my radar. And then you have Josh Hart and Lauri Markkanen. All those guys are 9%. So again, note none of the top owned guys. People are flirting with one or two of them, I guess, is their last man or two in. So that's what we have to take from here. So what are you doing, Crash?
Yeah, I like, so for me, the plays that I was looking at on the Utah side would be Lauri Markkanen. He just continues to play above, what we've seen from him in the past. And then I like the Beasley call, 4,300 on Draftkings. I really like that. And he's only 11 on Yahoo. He's 5,400 on Fanduel. So if I was going to pay that, I'd probably just pay up for Melton just a little bit more. Okay. But I do like him a lot on Draftkings and Yahoo. And then on Portland, if I didn't go to Embiid, I would definitely go to Dame, especially at 9,200 on Fanduel. That's just too cheap to me. Yeah. And then I like Jeremy Grant to bounce back. He had a rough game last night. He's still only $26 on Yahoo. And I still think Nurkic isn't healthy. So I still think that Drew Eubanks at 3,600 is a value play. And he's $10 on Yahoo. I've played him 3 of the last 4 slates, and he's done just fine. So I don't mind going there as a value play, kind of last play in if you need the salary.
Yep. For me, it's real simple here. I absolutely love Dame, and I've built my lineups already on all 3 sites, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo, and I can get Embiid and Lillard in on all 3 sites, no problem.
Nice. Yeah, with the value, yeah.
I mean, you've got that, even though it's a 4-game slate, you got these almost min-price guys that you can put in there, and I am floating Malik Beasley out there today. I mean, the fact that I've seen 2 games in a row where he's closed, that means a lot. I think they're really counting on him. I think he's played well enough, and I think he's a really solid play. So it does, it evens it out. I think Lillard in a smash spot here, everybody always says, well, Conley's a great defender. Well, he was a great defender 10 years ago. I mean, I think you've seen a steady decline defensively from him. Right. Clarkson couldn't guard you, so you're not going to get any defense from him. Yeah. So I think Lillard has his way. And Utah, we want to keep saying they're going to fade, but they keep winning games, man. So to think that Portland's going to blow them out here, I don't think is really logical. I mean, Vegas doesn't think so either. And so for me, if I can get a full run out of Dame, I'll take it. I mean, they're only favored by 4. So, right. And again, he's totally mispriced on FanDuel. He should be 10K there for sure.
So we got some news here. Tobias Harris is out. Wendell Carter game time decision. Devin Vassell is out.
Okay. Well, we sort of saw that coming with Tobias, and that's fine. That's even better for me for my dual Philly guys. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Does it elevate stinking Georges Niang again?
Oh gosh.
He's probably the biggest winner out of that news.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. He probably is.
I'm not going to do it, but I get it.
Yeah, that's too risky for me.
I think you just go ahead and build your lineup with Thibault, House, Tucker, and Niang.
We got a couple bigs in this last game that you can look at too. So, yeah, I think there's a couple plays that I like. I'd rather play instead of Niang.
And I hate when we get an update saying the dude's a game time decision. Well, no shit. We already know that. Don't even give us an update.
Oh, it's Gary Harris. It's not Tobias.
Oh,
Harris. So, okay.
Okay.
All right, so we don't have the official news yet on Tobias Harris. All right.
Oh, well, that's okay. Erase the last 2 seconds.
Yeah. Cut the tape. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Who cares about Gary Harris, for crying out loud?
Right.
Yeah. Devin Vassell, though, I mean, that means something. So we'll get to that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, other than that in this game, I have a little interest in Kelly O, believe it or not.
Okay.
I just think he's too cheap. And I think, you're going to get some split for the bigs there with Nurk and your man, as you say. But, Markkanen's the guy that I'm tempted to go to, but I just not sure on his price.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only concern.
Yeah.
7/8, okay, but not great. If I can get to him with with having Lillard and Embiid in there, then I will.
Mm-hmm.
But Beasley, Markkanen, my two favorites on that side, and Kelly O. So I'll have some ownership on those guys, and then pretty much Dame or bust for me on the Portland side.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, my friend. Game 4. Do we have anything coming up? Beasley is beastly. I hope so, because Beasley has bustly at times for me. So that tends to get you in the gut. But, definitely a great GPP play. He's probably going to make my single entry lineup, though.
For sure.
Aloysius 5. What's going on, dude? You're late. You're going to be suspended for 30 seconds for being late. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to come in at the last second, you come on in, and we have plenty of time. It's 5:37 on the East Coast. Lock is until 7. Can always watch it back, Aloysius. No worries whatsoever. Yes, Travis Wyndham back to no Niang. Yes, thank God. Unless we get more updated Tobias Harris news. So
right.
All right, let's finish this up. 10:30. The very predictable and non-flexible coach, Mr. Hops, his 6-10 Spurs, they are starting to lose pretty fast.
Yeah.
9-7 Clippers with George and Kawhi back. So welcome to town, San Antonio. I guess, as we go through this, Crash, is this game going to blow out?
That's definitely a concern, especially without Vassell.
Exactly. Clippers are 9-point favorites. It's a 221.5 total. 106.25 for the Spurs, 115.25 for the Clippers. We don't know how much Kawhi is going to play. He didn't do diddly-do the last game, played very little. We don't know if George is 100% healthy. So it's, this isn't like, all right, this game's going to be a 20-point blowout. The game I predicted yesterday did blow out, by the way. So I do want to take my hat off to myself on that one. The fact is, I can't remember which game it was.
The Warriors, wasn't it?
Yes, that was it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Keldon Johnson is in. Little monster. You and Aloysius. Now, you two guys hold hands and say, I won't be late next time, coach. No, we love you both. And I'm very happy that you're in here. Late is better than none, and you can rewatch the show. Winslow we'll talk about as well. A quick second, and then we'll break this down game. The problem with Justice Winslow is the inconsistent piece, and the fact that the Trailblazers have a full squad really concerns me. Now, Winslow is that weird creature, Crash, that he'll have a game with 2 blocks and 4 steals, and all of a sudden he's got this big number in 20 minutes.
Right.
Do you trust him, though, and enough minutes?
No, I don't trust him, and there's too many other plays on this slate, even though it's only a 4-game slate. There's too many other plays in his price range and even a little bit less than him for me to go to him. So that's the reasoning that I'm not going to him.
I will say this. If Nazir Little is out, which he's questionable, I'm going to consider Justice Winslow because he'll grab that extra little shift or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, again, Winslow is definitely always a solid GPP option, but there's a big floor and ceiling with him. But if he can grab the extra minutes that if Nazir's out, nice little sneaky play, Doug L. I think you've got a real sneaky play if that's the case, but you got to be careful because he also can bring down a lineup. Bassey time, King of Smack. I was going for Bassey, man.
Yeah, I don't mind Bassey. He's one of my value plays that I was talking about. If Pirtle's out, 4,300 on DraftKings, 4,700 on Fanduel, $12 on Yahoo, and then I like Keita Bates Jope.
That was my guy the other day. Did you see my Keita Bates Jopp play the other day?
I did.
People thought I hit my head on something.
Yeah,
he was less than 1%.
Really good call. Yeah,
he was top 5 scorer for that slate.
Exactly. So he's 4,200 on DraftKings, 4,500 on FanDuel, and 11 on Yahoo. So I think Bassey and Jopp both are in play, especially if Pirtle's out. But Jopp's in play for me whether Pirtle plays or not.
Okay. I mean, I've always thought he had good game, and if he gets the opportunity in the minutes, he just always seems to come through. He even did when he was at Minnesota. So I know I said the exact same thing the other day, but I've always liked him. And let's see, what is his price right now? Jopp is 4.2. That is pretty darn cheap.
I know.
So you gotta look at that a little bit.
And then on the Clippers, I mean, the only play I really have written down was actually Kawhi Leonard because he's 6,600, I think, on FanDuel. And he's going up against his old team. I mean, I just think that if he gets a decent amount of minutes, even if he gets minutes similar to what he got last game, I still think he'll have a better game than he did last game. He was just so rusty, and that rust will start to fall off. And I think that he's one of those guys that does, both ends of the floor. So, I think he's a solid play at 66 on FanDuel. So,
I think, that price on FanDuel is just, I don't know. He can stumble into making value at that number, can he?
I think so. And he's 7,900 on DraftKings. So not going to go to him over there, but
no.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to talk to you about this game. First of all, the Spurs on top of Pop and on the road and all that stuff. It's the first night of a back-to-back. So that has to give you pause. And, as far as pace, San Antonio is playing pretty quick at 8th, but it's a big pace down for the Clippers or for the Spurs because the Clippers are 19th. So that doesn't help matters. The Spurs are now dead last in the NBA defensively. They're even worse than the Rockets at this point. And the Clippers are the second best, and they're just getting Kawhi back. So they're probably going to be the best defensive team in the league when it's all said and done. I don't know, man. I'm so nervous about this game. There's so much volatility to it. It's a nerve-wracking game. Let's look at the ownership real quick and see if we can make any sense there. I'm going to update it too because it's been like almost an hour since I've updated it. So, all right, in this game, let's see if we get any love. Well, Devin Vassell was in here at 21% ownership, and he's out, right?
Yep.
So the top owned Spur at this moment was him. And not anymore. So that definitely upgrades some other guys like Keldon Johnson. At 7,500, do you trust Keldon Johnson? 10% is all he's owned at this moment. That should go up with Vassell out.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but he's still going to have to deal with Kawhi and Paul George. So
that is true. Keldon Johnson was supposed to be the next Kawhi, if you remember.
Right.
People talking about that. Would you rather go $7,500 Keldon Johnson or $7,800 Lauri Markkanen?
Markkanen,
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Markkanen because of the matchup. I mean, I would say probably 90% of the matchups I would probably go with Keldon Johnson, but with Kawhi and Paul George, I'd rather go with somebody else.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Jakob Poeltl is next at 9%, $7,100. He's cheap if he's in.
Yeah.
That's news dependent. Norman Powell, no, 8.5%.
No, I'm not going to Norman Powell tonight.
He's not good. Reggie Jackson, he hit you in the tail last time.
Well, but he did good though in that matchup I was talking about.
Oh, did he? Did he come through?
Yeah,
Detroit.
Yeah, he did well. Yeah,
he's only 4,900, and he's only 6% owned. Can you go back to him?
Possibly. I mean, I'm sure I probably have the salary. He's only
4,900.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah.
I mean, that's a spot you can look at.
Spurs don't play any defense, which is just insane to even say that. But yeah,
I know it. And then you have all low percentage. So there's not a lot of ownership or respect to this game whatsoever based on ownership. But the 6-10 Spurs and 9-7 Clippers, with the Clippers almost a double-digit favorite. Only Kennard is out for the Clippers. We know Vassell's now ruled out. We don't know about Poeltl. Keldon Johnson's probably going to play. Looks like they're going to get Branham back. McDermott, more than likely, I think, going to play. Collins, Langford, and Wesley remain out. So
this game could go south quick on San Antonio for sure.
Yeah, it could. But if the Spurs hang in there, this could be, and no ownership in this game, it could be very sneaky.
Yeah, I mean, it could be for sure.
It's just my opinion. How are you, my friend? I don't know if that's someone new, but we love having you in here with us. I looked at John Wall last go around, and he just had a really bad game. So I am not anywhere near the John Wall bandwagon. I don't think he's priced right. He's a little too high for me. Yeah. Nathan Feudy thinks the Spurs are going to get blown out. I mean, there's a lot of indications that it could happen. There's no question about it. What about Paul George?
Didn't initially have him in my lineups. I'd rather play Lillard and Embiid. I think. I don't think I'm going to get to Paul George.
Those are my words exactly. I agree 100%. And the thing is, even though Kawhi's only going to be 50% or play limited minutes, still going to take away from Paul George.
It is going to take away from George too. Yeah.
And if it gets out of hand, there's a lot of things. But if you're a Paul George guy, you're going to get him lower owned than he's been in a long time.
That's true.
So, I mean, it can be sneaky from that standpoint. I'm a little tempted, and I know I'm going to probably want to kick myself in the rear end, but Keldon Johnson, I like him. I think he's the best Spur, and he's tempting to me. He's going to be up a little bit because Kawhi sort of was his mentor of, what he wanted to be as a Spur.
Yeah.
I think he's sneaky. Not high on Jeremy Sokan anymore. I've not been that impressed with him.
No, he's not that great.
No, I preferred Ja possibly at 4-2, but I'm with you. Whoever said it in chat, and I apologize for not remembering, but if Poeltl sits, I'm going to probably play Charles Bassey. So, if you'd have told me even a week ago that I was going to base my entire lineup on Charles Bassey and Shake Milton, who was basically forgotten at the end of the bench, and consider guys like Daniel House. And it's just unreal how DFS, the ebbs and flows and tides and craziness one night from the next in DFS. It's nuts. Let's see. The other thing in this game, I think that I'm going to probably play Kawhi on Fanduel just simply because he's 66. I mean, you almost have to at 6,600.
I agree.
Just in case. I mean, he can throw 30 fantasy points up, tying his shoes. So I don't know. I did it last game and it was a mistake, but first game back was probably a mistake. I think second game back, he's going to get a little bit more time.
I think so too.
That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Do you have any Boom Fantasy picks today?
Let me check real quick.
Because when you're doing that, I am going to call Draftkings up here, and we will put together a 5-man GPP Draftkings. Two brains are better than one lineup, or as Crash and I like to say, a brain and a half. But we will do it. So I'm dialing up Draftkings right now. So the guy we agree on, is it Embiid, do you think?
Yeah, that's Embiid.
Okay, so let's go ahead and plug Embiid in there. And then other than Embiid, we're each going to get 2 picks.
Okay, just 1 second here.
Take your time. I'll get my pick going first, since we can't do a full lineup for DraftKings, by the way, for those that don't know. We can only give a group a core build based on their guidelines, and we follow those guidelines very closely. Crash, I am going to spend up on a secondary spot here. And like I said, you can find value everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and take Dame.
Okay.
It only gives us $4,800 a man the rest of the way, but I want Embiid and Lillard and then make it work.
Okay. I have my my Boom Fantasy play. So
okay, go for it.
All right, so I'm going to take the over on 1.5 3-pointers made by Joel Embiid.
Okay, good call.
And I'm going to take the under on 18.5 points from Jordan Clarkson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. I like both of those calls. All right. So
you took Damian Lillard.
I sped the next 3 guys, probably we should go reasonable price for sure.
Yeah. I'll take Shake Milton at guard.
Yeah, shoot, that was who I was gonna take. That was so easy. 3,100.
Yeah.
So that the nice part about that is it jumps us to 5,120 per guy just by taking Shake. So that is really helpful.
I'm at 61.33. You took Dame and I took Milton. Is there somebody else?
Milton, Embiid, and Lillard.
I didn't know you had Embiid. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that was the guy we agreed on.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And then I took Lillard, you took Milton. So that's 5,120. And we're going to take one guy each remaining. And we still want to go fairly cheap here so that we don't bust it. How about Jalen Smith?
Okay.
And he's getting the minutes and he's cheap. And I think he's pretty safe in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Now we're all the way up to 5,200 flat for an average price, and there's still value.
I'll take KBD at forward, 4,200.
Jop is going to get the call. Beta Jop. Okay, so let's see.
And that leaves us with 55.
Oh, we got all kinds of money here.
Yeah.
So our 2 brains are better than one. 5-man core starting 5 GPP. Shake Milton, Jalen Smith, Joel Embiid, Dame Lillard, and Keita Bates-Diop. And that gives you 3 spots remaining for 55.33 a man. So you still can get to one more solid player, no doubt about it. Yes. Anything else that you can think of?
No, I think that's it, Coach.
Yep. Excellent. All right. We've got no other late news coming in. We're going to give a ticket away. So if I call you out here, if you haven't made a comment, you got about 15 seconds to do it. You've got to make a live comment in here. And as Boy from Cali told me, you have to hit the thumbs up on YouTube or you're disqualified. That's sort of unofficial, but I agree. All right, the winner of the ticket, and jump on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk, tweet me directly, and you will get a free ticket for tonight, or you can use it for football tomorrow. The winner is Abel Ramos. Abel Ramos, someone that's been with us before, but hasn't been consistent. So now maybe you win the $1 million and then you're with Coach Talk forever. How does that sound? Abel Ramos is in. Is he the one that said he's going to become a member? Who said? Somebody did.
Who was
Somebody
that?
did. I don't know. Whoever it was, that's awesome. We'll love to have you with us. But Abel, definitely shoot me a tweet, and we'll get you in there as well. All right. Did we forget anything else, Crash, or anybody? I don't see any other questions here. I'm playing some Edwards and Cat, Doug L says. I mean, I understand, but not the direction I'm going to go. Those two guys are a little expensive, too.
It was, Coach. It was Abel Ramos.
Oh, was it? See, That's the vibes for you.
That's
you
awesome.
Get the good vibes to be part of the family, and then the basketball goodness rains down upon you. So I love it, man. I don't see any other questions that I'm seeing jump out at me right now. For anybody new, it's just my opinion. All those guys, great to have you with us. Come back and join us. We're every day pretty much at 4:45 unless there's something weird. Oh, Harry Styles. Congratulations to Yami Styles. Little
nice.
Super chat for our No Kids Hungry charity. Thank you, Mr. Styles. You are the man. King of Smack just placed 12th in the $888 contest. $6,800 winner for MMA. Wow. Congratulations, man. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Congratulations.
Very nice. Yeah.
I love it. And that's what we want to see. Winners all around. So congratulations there, KOS. Chalk that down to the winning column for another of the Coach Talk family. EBG, as they now call Emerson's Baby Gap shirt. Let's go, people. Let's get it tonight. Thank you for the comment there. Appreciate you as well. Congratulations, everybody, for being part of this family, because we have a great group here. You're all terrific. Appreciate all of you. And join us again. Tomorrow you've got the double dip. It's for members only. So if you thought about becoming a member, jump in. $9. What the heck? Come on in. And you've got 10:30. I'll be watching Crash and Steven just crushing the whole 11-game slate in the NFL. And then I will be on at 4:45 for a really busy Sunday night 7-game NBA slate. So already pumped for that as well. So thank you, everybody. Yes, you can absolutely KOS post that on @DFS Coach Talk. We'll show you some love. Can anybody always throw stuff up there? We'll certainly retweet and keep you busy there. But super fired up. Let's all get on that KOS winning streak tonight and keep it going. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks for the super chats today. And we will definitely be back tomorrow for the doubleheader for football and basketball. We will be looking to crush it in NBA and NFL, DFS, and boom, fantasy.